All right, so start with solid red. And remember, we're moving towards the center. If these rectangles were shorter, so say the rectangle ended halfway, obviously we wouldn't be bringing the red all the way over. We'd bring it only halfway. And this will most likely be the hardest one. I may have gone a little past the halfway point, but that's fine. All right. We have the solid red. Make sure that the end here has enough paint and that it's fresh. So that when we're ready to add the blue in there, we can. Okay, we're not gonna go and add straight blue onto here, right? We're gonna mix the red and the blue on our lids. So I'm taking some red here. You notice I'm making a little pile right there. So we're gonna need more red than blue, right? So I did, I don't know, I did like 2 scoops of red and a tiny bit of blue. Just so you see how much blue I'm grabbing, that's how much blue I'm mixing in with the red. I'm gonna add a little bit more of blue, and it'll look a little burgundy at first, like a dark red. So like this, right? So this is a good medium red that I'm just gonna put directly on top. Oops, I went outside the lines there, but I need to make more of that. So be careful on how much blue you're adding. Don't add too much too fast. All right, there's starting to look more purple. And this will most likely dry a little lighter, right? So be aware of that. I'm going to move over towards the right some more. I'm going to add a little bit more blue to make a more solid purple right here. So you should be able to tell the difference. You kind of can on the screen. Make it a little more purple so you can tell the difference on the screen. And then I'm going to fade out 2 lines that you should probably see right now. You have this one right here and this one here. So I'm going to fade those out before they dry. Remember, you can't blend out those lines once the paint dries. So you're fighting against time this whole time. All right, so wipe the paintbrush, rinse it out. Start here. And just a little bit of pressure to fade out that line or that edge. Wipe. And then the next one, same thing. I'm going to make this a little smoother. So I don't have any paint on my paintbrush. I'm just literally using the paint that's on the paper and wiping, or not wiping, but feathering it to get rid of that line. Every time I take, you don't see my my paintbrush on the screen. It's probably because I'm doing this with my hand and wiping off the paint and the water. So the wiping of the paintbrush is the important part. There, that looks a little smoother. And hopefully when that dries, that also dries a little smoother. All right. Okay, so now I have this darker purple that I need to make more of because it's drying. And so that dark purple is going to fade into the blue. Donovan, uh, you are you using the same brush? Really? Okay. Um, are your rectangles bigger than mine? Because that could also be a factor. If they're like taller than mine, then you're obviously gonna need more paint. So I'm making more of that dark purple. So that may be it, Donovan. Yours, if yours is a little taller, you're obviously gonna need more of the paint. How thick are you making that paint though? Like when you're putting it on, is it thicker than mine? Because that could also be a factor. There's multiple factors that can play into it. All right, I'm almost done making this darker purple. All right. The other thing that maybe can help, Donovan, is when you're painting, rotate the paintbrush so that you're just not using the paint that's on the bottom. You're also using the paint that's on the top of the paintbrush. So when I'm painting, I do that, and then when I lift it, I rotate it or spin it to use the other side. Okay, then I don't know, Donovan, because it sounds like you're doing everything I'm doing. All right, now we're ready for the solid blue, or it should be. Just gonna make sure this is nice and fresh paint so it doesn't dry on me. Rinse out my paintbrush, wipe it, and I'm gonna grab straight blue. Solid blue. And put it right here. And we're going to make our way towards the purple. It's just disappearing, Donovan. I guess I'd have to see how you're doing it to figure that out. All right. So get that blue on there on the right side. Work your way towards the darker purple. And once you're at the edge, drag it over it. In order for that dark purple and the blue to blend or mix. And it should mix because that dark purple that we put on there should be fresh. All right. Now I can go ahead and get rid of this line here this line here, and this I think dried out. So I'm gonna show you how to fix that if that happens to you, because no matter what, no matter how like careful you are, sometimes the paint does end up drying on you. All right, so wash my paintbrush, wipe it, and I'm gonna start over here. And again, just dab it to fade out that edge. Wipe my paintbrush, no paint, no water, and do the same thing over here. All right. And now this one is most likely the darker purple is wet, but the lighter, the red is dry. So I don't think it's gonna let me fade it out. Let's see. Oh, it might. No, it's still kind of showing. So I'm gonna make more of this red, this darker red, or lighter purple. And then do it again. All right, so this should be a good, there we go. That's good darker red or lighter purple. And then blend that in with the purple here. And that's how I got rid of that line there. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here now, because I want that to look a little smoother. So the two things, main things that I want people to get out of this is mixing the paint, so like getting the right values that you need, so like the right red, the right blue, the right. Sorry, my iPad froze. Is the fading of the lines or blending of the lines. That is those are the two things that I want people to kind of get the most out of from this. All right, that's a little smoother. All right. If I wanted to fix this part, I could. Same way I just did this. Make the solid blue, or grab the solid blue and get a little lighter blue and apply it again and fade it out. Right? Sometimes it's easier with some colors and sometimes it's harder with others. It's just a matter of trial and error a lot of the times. Right? And then sometimes when the paint dries, some lines may show up. Like I don't know if this is gonna dry like this or if that line is going to kind of disappear when it dries. So I just have to wait until it dries and see